Hello again, Griz fans, and welcome to another weekly edition of Griz Tracks. I'm AJ Mazzolini here with the Mazzolini.
And I'm Bill Speltz. I cover the Griz football team for the Mazzolini.
And the Griz did not have a good week last week on the road, which is really seeming to be kind of the story of their season. Another road loss at Eastern Washington, but they do have a chance to sort of redeem themselves with the last road game of the year this week against Southern Utah.
That's right, AJ. Pretty good shot to redeem themselves. It's down in Cedar City, Utah, and Southern Utah has a 2-8 record. A couple of home wins against a couple of the lower tier Big Sky Conference teams to their credit, but otherwise kind of struggling, especially on defense.
Yeah, certainly a different team than Eastern Washington was, and the Griz road schedule has just been, dire, really. All year long they've been playing the tough teams on the road, so it'll be nice for them to maybe build a little confidence away from Washington-Grizzly Stadium by playing this 2-8 team that is basically last in the Big Sky in most defensive categories, to be real.
Right. They want to run the ball, as Coach Delaney always says week after week. They want to run the ball, and I think they'll have success doing that. Southern Utah ranks last against the run and the pass. Mm-hmm. They should be able to put up some numbers this week and build some confidence going into the Montana State game.
Yeah, and running the ball is something they've struggled with, especially on the road all year long, and it reared its ugly head again last week against Eastern Washington, and the Griz just had a little bit of trouble maintaining that possession and keeping Vernon Adams, who did end up playing, off the field.
Right, that's a good point. I think that's what they wanted to do, is run the football and keep the ball out of Vernon's hands, and they just couldn't. A lot of times they'd run on first and second down, and it just ends up feeling like they're spotting Eastern Washington's defense a couple of downs. Why don't we just start at 3rd and 9, and that's tough to make those all the time.
Yeah, for sure. But, all that being said, the Griz weren't exactly out of that game either. You get some bad special teams plays at the end, and all of a sudden, if those go the other way, maybe they got a chance to win that thing in Cheney.
It's a very good point. And when you look at it, they were in the game with Wyoming. They were in the game with North Dakota State when they were ranked number 1. They're in these games, just little mistake. They have to play near perfect, and maybe an interception is the difference.
To make the big play, really.
Exactly, and that's encouraging that they're so close to these top-level teams. I'd say, in my opinion, they need to get off to a better start. Mm-hmm. They scored 5 points in the first quarter in 5 road games. And if they could just get off to a better start, then you don't have to deal with the crowd noise. You kind of quiet them. And obviously, it just seems like it should be a priority every game to get on the board first and try to build a lead.
Yeah, they're just making it hard on themselves, really.
Certainly.
And there's no room for error left here, by all accounts, really. The Griz are going to have to win these last 2 games of the year to have a shot at the playoffs, and probably need some help as well. That's Southern Utah this week on the road, and then the Bobcats are coming to town the week after that. The Bobcats are one of those teams that the Griz are basically in a battle with to get a few, one of the few playoff spots for the Big Sky, because it's really top-heavy this year.
Right. The general consensus is that 4 teams are going to go from the Big Sky. And if Cal Poly wins out, they have 2 games left. And if Idaho State wins out, and if Northern Arizona wins out, that could leave Montana in the cold. Now, the best bet for one of those teams to lose is this Saturday. Mm-hmm. Idaho State goes up to Bozeman to play in the cold. They're a dome team. If Montana State could knock them off, that would be doing the Griz a favor.
Yeah, certainly. And then if the Griz in turn could knock off the Bobcats next week, then things would be looking a little bit better for all those teams. Again, we got 2 weeks left here in the schedule, and then the rest is really going to be unknown. So make sure to keep up with Grizzly football with the Mazzolini in print and online at Mazzolini.com. And we'll be back here on Thursdays for another edition of Griz Tracks next week to let you know what the latest playoff implications are. Thanks for tuning in this week.